Sean Diddy Combs isn't the only one in the family facing some serious accusations, and while the rapper has been criminally charged and arrested, his sons have been named in recent lawsuits. But could those allegations lead to more charges for the Combs family?
Diddy's sons are facing serious trouble as a result of their father's actions, prompting them to speak out in an attempt to protect themselves from potential consequences. Interestingly, Gandil had earlier predicted that Diddy's sons would eventually be involved in his downfall. One of his sons, King Combs, recently released a diss track aimed at several figures, including 50 Cent and his father Diddy.
But what you think about the diss record that King Combs came out with, where he was coming at 50 and coming at everybody, coming at his dad? Like, how you feel about that record?
Well, first I want to say to this young man, before somebody take his head off, because see, that's that new school bull crap that these kids out here, they easy to fly out their mouth with that. You don't invite a man to your private. You don't invite a man to your private unless you doing the Diddy. If two men lay down, how many homos get up? Let me tell you, young man, 2 of them. You understand? So don't invite a man to your private, because that man will see you and take your head off.
Gene began by cautioning King Combs about the serious consequences that could arise from disrespecting someone like 50 Cent.
Especially somebody like 50. You don't send or let a boy do a man's job. I don't know if he need that type of attention or he want that type of attention. Evidently he do. But 50 is the wrong dude that you want to do that type of attention, get that kind of attention from, bro. And the infamous words of Waka Flocka, that go hard in the paint. And I don't believe that this cat would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government. And I told y'all, the Southern District of New York do not play. So King Kong just put another battery in their back. And you see after he did that, something get leaked to the press. Do you notice that, right? As soon as he did that dumb talking about, well, we did this and we did that. We had this over here, y'all went to the wrong house. Some went to, he said, well, we're gonna show you how wrong we are. Yo, CNN, run this. Action, roll them. Don't play with the feds, bro. Because you got to realize this. They got a lot of time. All they got is time.
Gene warned King Combs that he was playing with fire, especially by taking shots at someone with 50 Cent's reputation. He emphasized that such reckless behavior from the younger generation could have serious repercussions. Additionally, Gene suggested that King's recent actions might have sparked media leaks, including rumors of a federal raid possibly targeting a property owned by Diddy.
A lot of people feel like he played a part in that video coming up. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was walling out.
Yeah, I think he was just bullshit. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government gonna run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the, you know, the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
The video in question shows Diddy aggressively confronting Cassie shortly after his arrival at federal court in Manhattan. Diddy's eldest son, Christian King Combs, along with a group of 7 men, made their way to the 5th floor arraignment room, where they each requested a copy of the music mogul's indictment. The indictment, which was unsealed at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, September 17, includes 3 serious charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation for prostitution.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Seated in an orange chair and surrounded by the other men, King Combs quietly sifted through the 14-page document that outlined the serious allegations against his father. The group sat in silence, each reviewing their own copy of the indictment, which accuses Diddy of coercing women into participating in highly orchestrated events known as freak-offs. The document claims that Diddy not only arranged and directed these events, but also recorded them to maintain control over the victims. These recordings were allegedly used as leverage, with Diddy threatening to ruin the victims' careers and livelihoods if they didn't comply. Prosecutors further allege that during these encounters, which involved sex workers, Diddy supplied substances to ensure the women's obedience. Afterward, both Diddy and the victims are said to have received IV fluids to recover from the physical toll.
Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers.
In March, federal authorities reported seizing items from Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles, including supplies allegedly linked to the freak-offs, such as narcotics and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. This revelation follows another legal challenge in April, when King Combs was named alongside his father in a sexual assault lawsuit filed by Grace Ohm Marquet in Los Angeles Superior Court. The details of that case are equally troubling.
Well, it's not really surprising that a lot of people have been speaking out since the arrest and indictment of Sean Diddy Combs on federal sex racketeering charges. But now, that includes the woman behind a lawsuit against his son, Christian Combs. So Sean Combs was indicted in federal court last week. He's going to be going up against the formidable prosecutors of the Southern District of New York. And until then, he's locked up at what's called the MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. And this is a jail which has housed other celebrity inmates at times. It's been plagued with issues like unsanitary conditions, fights between inmates. There's a status conference for his case scheduled for October 10th. But as Combs now faces these criminal charges, there is a separate legal team that is dealing with the multiple civil lawsuits that are pending against him. And one of those complaints was filed by a woman named Grace O'Markey. So O'Markey was apparently a steward working aboard a yacht that was rented by Sean Combs in December of 2022 for a holiday celebration with his family, when she claims she was sexually assaulted by Christian Combs. And within weeks of Sean Combs' homes being raided back in March by federal agents, O'Markey filed a civil complaint against Christian and named his father, Sean Combs, in the suit as well for allegedly facilitating this to occur.
A defendant in the criminal case, it certainly does add to context. And so now I could see now on the defense side them wanting to do something akin to a bill of particulars, where they want to get more information from how actually the prosecution intends to prove this case, because they've left it so open that pretty much any of those bad acts could.
And so you're kind of laying the groundwork for how possibly Grace O'Markey could testify in a federal case, but there's a lot of things that need to happen before that. So I want to talk a little bit more about this. So we have Christian King Combs, 26-year-old model rapper, third oldest son of Sean Combs, who's one of three children that Combs shares with the late model Kim Porter. She died in 2018. And we go back to the raids that happened in Los Angeles and Miami back in March. Combs' sons, specifically in LA, Christian and Justin, they were handcuffed and they were led out of the home as investigators from Homeland Security went in to collect the evidence. 30-year-old Justin is Combs' oldest biological son, who he had with a fashion designer named Nisa Hilton. And Justin's mother shared a video from the Los Angeles raid on her Instagram page, and the footage, which appears to come from security cameras around the home, has been edited and sped up in places. And she writes, quote, "The overzealous and overtly militarized force used against my sons Justin and Christian is deplorable. If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression." Christian, by the way, celebrated his birthday 1 week after the raids, posting photos of his lavish celebrations on his Instagram story. And he also posted this to his story: "Stop with the blue cap emoji." Cap is slang for lying. And then on April 4th, Grace O'Markey filed her civil lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court.
If Diddy's sons are starting to speak out against him, it could signal a significant turning point in his legal troubles. This shift may lead to serious consequences, including the potential for Diddy to face a lengthy prison sentence. Given his high-profile status and background, life behind bars would likely be especially challenging for him.
Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is at MDC right now on Diddy's life behind bars. Lisa, what are you finding out tonight?
Well, Natasha and Steve, for the first time in his life, Sean Diddy Combs has spent a week behind bars. He's here inside MDC, where he's been since his arrest on Monday night on federal sex and other charges, to all of which he's pleaded not guilty. There's no VIP section, there is no concierge, only conmen, killers, and kingpins. MDC is so bad, federal judges have questioned the harsh conditions for those here awaiting trial. So bad, I was here 2 years ago during a cold spell, reporting on detainees with no heat, pounding on windows for help. There was even a congressional inquiry. But take the word of a former inmate I spoke with who goes by Esco.
It's terrible. The food is terrible. Of course, the inmates are terrible. The guards are terrible. The conditions are terrible. It's just terrible.
The inmates that you're surrounded around, just in general, a lot of them are brought up on pretty heavy federal indictments, right? So just in terms of the atmosphere there, it's just certainly one that no one wants to be in.
Combs was placed in a special housing unit and on Watch, the standard protocol for high-profile celebrity detainees. The disgraced mogul was denied bail by 2 separate judges. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, asked the court to transfer him to the federal detention section at the Essex County Jail, but the judge deferred to the Bureau of Prisons. The isolation may be the worst part for Combs. It's being done for his protection in the violence-prone facility. He will have no bunkie.
He's probably not going to have any contact with any other inmates. So for him, it's going to be a little different than for a person like me, where I will go in, I will go through process and intake, and then they'll assign me a cell, and I'll have a bunkie or a cellmate, and I'll be in population.
For him to be able to get out at this point, it just doesn't look good.
Reports indicate that Diddy is currently under close watch due to concerns about his mental well-being. According to People magazine, a source revealed that the high-profile rapper is being surveilled as a precaution while awaiting trial. Gandil speculates that Diddy might feel pressured to offer up a high-profile celebrity in exchange for leniency, or could be at risk of self-harm during his time in custody.
I guess we could start with Diddy being put on watch. How you feel about that?
Man, watch, you know, it's the #1 cause of death statistically in the prison system. In order for him to get on watch, he just can't say, I'm gonna commit suicide. You know, that helps, but he has to go through he has to have a psych evaluation. He has to, the correction officer, they had to monitor him and see what he has, you know, we've been doing. Has he been crying all night? You know, those are some of the criteria. You know, saying that you're gonna commit suicide, crying all night, doing some kind of self-mutilation, or trying to harm yourself, because everybody thinks because you were on suicide watch, you're in a good situation. Once they put you in suicide watch, bruh, you gotta go to a cell, like a padded cell, by yourself with very little or no clothes on. You understand what I'm saying? So that suicide watch, when I heard it, it didn't, I wasn't surprised. You know, somebody who lived in mansions, travel all over the world, somebody who could go into any hotel, have any and everything at his beck and call. Now he's in a room that's a 10 by 10, if that, a cell. Bruh, if he was gonna commit and he was on the outside doing those city college days, just imagine what he's gonna do or try to do while he's in prison, and he don't have his cell phone, he don't have no maids. You understand? He better hope that they want to make a deal, but I don't think so, or they want somebody else. He better hope, and he got something to offer them. Even if he got something to offer him, you gotta realize, bruh, like, you got kingpins, you got dealers, you got people who make deals, there's murders and killers. They make a deal and they still get 25, 30 years in the feds. He's about 55 years old. If he do 15 years, that's 70 years. When he come out, he's 70 years old. He may not want to live like that. And then what he coming out to at 70 years old? He'll still have probably a little money to do something, but not to do nothing. So that's what he's looking at, bro.
Interestingly, a 1,999 interview has resurfaced in which Diddy made a chilling prediction about his own future. In the segment from Entertainment Tonight, he was asked about his iconic white party ticket, which represented his lavish lifestyle and influence during that era.
Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time. you know, whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizon, people get intimidated. There's a lot of people out there that feel intimidated by it. It ain't nothing but break it down racial barriers, break it down generation barriers, people from all walks of life. Ron Perlman talking to Jay-Z, Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on, you know, it's just like people from all walks of life connecting and getting together. Yeah.
Your parties are the hottest ticket in town. People dying to get into your party. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's cool. You know, it doesn't make me feel any way special. It doesn't make me feel like a bigger person. It just makes me feel like I know how to throw a party.
Another resurfaced interview from 2002 features Diddy sharing his thoughts on the essential elements for hosting an unforgettable party. A source of information against Diddy could be Justin Bieber, especially if Jaguar Wright's claims prove to be true. Wright also suggests that Usher could become involved, weeding his plate, said Diddy subsequently, and then asks the audience to consider two others, pointing to his role in mentoring Justin Bieber, which might link him to the growing situation surrounding Diddy.
I'm tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like, we need Usher. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him, because what I'm realizing is that he's gonna fake the funk until the victim. He's just gonna keep on sucking the devil's. And I don't know, you know, like with a baby, that pacifier, sometimes you gotta pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the baby's used to sucking on the pacifier. That motherfucker gonna keep sucking on that shit until you do what? Till you take it out the mouth. Now it's gonna scream and holler, but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object. And that it's time to just, you know, learn how to live without it. He been sucking on Diddy's dick a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without the devil's dick in his mouth or ass.
You don't think if he sued, he'll just Lil Woody the situation and I don't recall? I don't recall.
No, because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile on your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there. Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours.
Jaguar Wright has made serious accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, claiming that he sold a controversial freak-off party video for a staggering $500 million on the dark web.
Well, considering that the is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder, why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of all just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million.
Despite the gravity of these accusations, none of the celebrities mentioned, such as Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, and Drake, have been directly linked to these events so far. However, it's been alleged that the tapes in the possession of prosecutors could potentially contain footage featuring these celebrities, which adds another layer of intrigue and speculation to the case.
They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contained images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds.
Do you think other celebrities will face charges? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.